coloring friends, welcome back to my channel. This video is all about the second part of my coloring book collection with all my finished pages and works in progresses in my Emelie Lidehäll Öberg and Kerby Rosanes books. So yeah, here are some facts. Let's begin with Emelie's books. I only have two. I think they are by now the only books that she released, even though she released some postcard books that I don't have in my collection. In those two books I have only 10 pages in total that I finished, and I don't think that there are any kind of WIPS. So let's get started with my fairy tales and not folklore, the fairy tales book. So it's Emelie's first release, I think, and I think Saga Signe was her second one, but I don't have that original release. So in this book I finished 5 pages. Yeah. Hopefully I do remember everything that I've used on these pages, because I have not colored in it in quite a while. It's such a shame, I know, but maybe this year. Okay, so let's begin with this one. I finished that name page back in June 2020. I think it was one of the last pages that I finished before I gave birth to my son, or I think it was the last one before I gave birth. Yeah. This page took me quite a time to finish, just because I was exhausted all that time. Yeah, if you are a mom on your own and you have your had your child in your tummy, so you might know that the last trimester is kind of exhausting. Yeah. So enough of this. In here I think I've used ink tans for the background. I really like the way how I layered it, and it looks like a watercolor effect. I've used my Signo Uniball gel pen in silver and some white Posca, I think. The pencil work I've done with Faber-Castell Polychromos. Yeah, I really like the outcome of that page, and so far I'm really happy with I think almost every page that I did in Emelie's books. But let's see. Next we have 2 finished pages. The left one I finished in February 2022, and I think I only used ink tans and some gel pen for this one. I'm really happy with the way the crystals turned out, and I think there is nothing special to say. Yeah, really like that. On this page, it was back in April 2020, and I think round about that time we found out the gender of our baby, and that's why I had this flags colored in pinks and blues, because we did not know then which gender our baby would have, so if we are getting a boy or a girl. Yeah, and I really loved coloring those toys, and I was yeah, excited for being a mom soon. Yeah, I really love the way that I colored the robot, and it's one of the first attempts of coloring fur for this little creature. I think it should be a mouse, or should represent a mouse. I'm not that happy with the way the strawberries look, but yeah, considering that I was not that far in my coloring journey, and I've colored without any pressure at all because I was on lockdown, I really love the outcome of this one. For the background, I've used very cheap acrylic paint pens that I've got from Teddy. And yeah, back then I did not have any new colors, I think. Really like the matte yeah, the matte paper, the matte for background. Yeah, okay. This is a page that I'm not that happy with. I think I've used Black Widows and they did not work great on that paper. Yeah, this page represents the anniversary of my husband and me when we came together. We yeah, so the day we got together was December 13th, and yeah, so I've colored that page for our anniversary, and I'm really not happy. So you can see that I got quite bored with that page, and I've started using my gel pens. I think I had a very cheap set of Folia glitter gel pens that I used for that feather, and I think those shells I've colored with my Faber-Castell metallic pit markers. Yeah, I'm not that happy with that page, but yeah, I won't change any pages once they are done, so it is what it is. So this one, in this page, I've used my Polychromos and obviously a little bit of golden marker, I think. I'm sorry, I hope you can see everything and there is not a lot of glaze on the paper, but it's a very cloudy wintry day again, and there is no natural daylight that helps me showcasing my pages. Yeah, you can see that there is a lot of structure in the background, so I think I've used pencils only and didn't use any kind of blender. So October 2020, my son was only 3 months old at that point, and I'm really happy how the page turned out, considering that I didn't have lots of time to color. And that's already it for that book. So next we do have fairy tales and folklore, and I was really happy that I got my copy finally. I really had struggle getting this book. Once Emelie announced the release, the reprint of fairy tales, or no, of Sagor Segne, I ordered that book right away, Fairy Tales and Folklore, but for some reason it disappeared from my Amazon list. It did not get delivered, and I was taking some research on my Amazon wish lists, but it just disappeared, even though I've put it into my cart. Yeah, so I went to a local bookstore and ordered it from there. It took quite a while to arrive there, but at the end I was really happy that I got my copy. So in this book I've already done 5 pages, and I really love this book. So you might have seen those pages in one of my videos, I think the very first one. so I don't speak a lot about that pages, I think. This one I did for Mermaid back in 2025. I've used my Arteza Expert colored pencils in combination with the Arteza Expert Aquarelle pencils for the background, the Coliro Rainbow watercolors for that metallic shine, and the Ranger glossy accents for the fish's eyes. Even though they are not that rounded anymore, I really love the outcome of that effect. Yeah. So the next page in here, which is it? Yeah, I've shown you this already too. I think that's one of my favorite pages that I've done in 2025. I've used Polychromos for the pencil work, some Sakura glaze for the gnome's eye, and for the background I think it's the Arteza Expert Colored pencils in the aquarelle ones, and the Mondeluz, Koh-i-Noor Mondeluz. I do have a very small set. Yeah, but I really loved how they worked on that paper. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out which pencils to use on that paper, or which one I do love coloring with on that paper. So if you do have any favorite pencil brand, just tell me. So on here I only put a tag for another video in the future, so don't worry about that. This is actually the first page that I've colored in this gorgeous book back in November 24. And I colored this page with Caran d'Ache Luminance, and it's been a body coloring with my dear friend Katrin from Kete Malt. Yeah, I'm really happy with the outcome of that page. I've tried to cover the lines with white gouache, and after that I used my luminance, and I think this has been the last page that I've colored with my luminance, even though I really enjoy coloring with them because I don't have a lot of wax-based pencils, but more harder lead pencils. And I love how the way they do blend. Yeah, I don't like the way how the names are printed on the barrel, so it's always hard for me to put them back into their pencil case. Yeah, this page I showed you too in my first video. It's the lemon page that I've did with my Ateco watercolors, and I'm really happy with that outcome. Yeah, a quite simple page, but I would never have minded to work with pencils on this kind of boring page. Yeah, really happy with the outcome. And I'm really happy that I'm quite creative in this book. For some reason, the Swedish illustrators always spark my creativity. I think I've missed a page. Yeah, there is another page that I've done, but this one I've showed you too is it's done. It's I think one of the really last pages that I did in 2025. Again, I've used the Arteco watercolors for the background. Pencil work is German Chroma Flow, even the fur, and the highlights I did with my Kuretake Starry set. So let's take a look. Where is the other page that I've missed? I thought I've tagged everything. Yeah, one moment please. Where is it? I'm such a pro, but I won't cut that out. I don't like editing my videos. Yeah, here it is. Another page that I did back in 24, and it's been my very last page in 2024. Obviously, it's Christmas. It's been Christmas. I finished it in the day before New Year's Eve. And I've used ChromaFlow again, I think, with a lot of glittery Sakura, Stardust, with what else did I use? I think, yeah, there is some Coliro rainbow watercolor too. And for the background, I think I've used my Derwent Ink 10s. So yeah, that's everything that I've colored in Emelie Lidehäll Öberg's books. And I'm sorry if I butchered her name. So next we do have my Kerby Rosanes collection, and I do have 8 books and colored 19 pages in total, if I did not miscount. Yeah, the very first book is Animorphia, and in here you see a lot of my very first coloring, because I think it's been only the second or third book in my collection. Yeah, I think I started with Johanna Basford's Secret Garden, and shortly after that I bought, not shortly after that, but shortly after I finally got into that hobby and get settled into that, and yeah, I bought Animorphia and I think Rita Beermann's Die Welt unter der Lupe zu Lande, or the Jahreszeiten compilation book, the seasons book. But I have to scroll back to my very first Instagram posts, so to be sure. Yeah, so let's get started. It's Animorphia, eine atemberaubende Welt zum Ausmalen. So that's from the Fischer publisher, and the German edition. I've done 6 pages in total in this book, and I do have 2 WIPs, and I'm starting to think that I've miscounted something. Yeah, page 1, it's the intro page, and I think it's been my very first page that I did in here. Back then I only had the 24 set of Faber-Castell Polychromos, but I already started to try and do some shading. I think I bought 2 or 3 other pencils to complete my set, and those were the skin colors. So you can see this little guy here. I've colored very flashy. I did that background with Polychromos too, and I think that I've bought a blender pencil from Derwent, so that my hand didn't have to do all that hard work, only with pencils. Yeah, I'm really happy with that page. And back then I didn't mind coloring all those doodles. This one I finished in January 2020. Again, I've used acrylic paints for the background, and I don't know which pencils I've used. I think I've based some of the flowers with my ink 10s. I'm not sure anymore, but yeah. And I've outlined some of the flowers with my Posca pen. Yeah. I do like the outcome of that page. I do like the color palette I've used. Yeah, it's a nice page, I think. Next, we do have another finished double page spread. And I did not write down when I finished them. I think I started with this Phoenix, and I used my Koh-i-Noor Mondeluz only in here. Yeah, I think so. I really love the color palette, and back then I did not mind if there was not any background finished. I really like that. This one, I wasn't really happy with the background. It is one of my very first attempts of using Neocolor 2. I don't know why I was not that happy with the background right now. I think it's quite nice, considering that I was not coloring that long. Yeah, really happy with that. I would not use Posca to line out this little guy, and I would try to do some more shadowing and contrast, put more contrast in here, but actually I'm really happy with the outcome, and I quite like the color palette that I've used in here. Yeah. Wow, a double page spread that I did in 2019. It is my very first proper finished page in this book, and I think it's been my very first double page spread that I finished ever, and I'm really proud that I've colored all these doodles, and I tried to put some shades in here. This guy I really love. I'm quite proud of myself that I used another color for highlighting and did not leave any white space. I think I've seen some tutorials, I think Peter Hewitt or something like that, and even there I tried to color a white goose using blue for the shadows. Yeah, I think I was not overthinking that much. Really nice. This is WIP. I think I had acrylic paints leftovers because I've started a page in Hannah Carlson's book on Summer Nights, I think, and I've already prepared the background for the snakes. Where did the tag went? Yeah, this page I've colored with a very old set of watercolors. Yeah, and I think I did not use any kind of pencil to do some shadowing, but I'm happy with the way everything turned out. I don't know why I stopped using watercolors for such a long time, and I just came back to use them in my coloring books again. Yeah, I think that's all in Anima Foya. The next book is Imagimorphia, and I've only done 2 pages in here and have 1 WIP. Yeah, so counting this as a WIP, I don't know. I think I've tried using markers in here, water-based markers in here, so I was testing out if there was any bleed through. And you see there is a little bit of ghosting. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. And yeah, maybe I will work on this page at some point again. And the only finished pages that I can show you in here, those 2. Yeah, what have I used? The Faber-Castell Pitch Artist for the streaky background. I've used water-based markers for the left page for the anchor. Yeah, I think I was talking with my Dutch friends about using markers in coloring books, and so I gave it a try. I really love how vibrant the page came out, and I've used some glittery gel pens. I think the back there might have been the Folia ones. And on this page I've used the Arteza aquarelle pencils, nothing else. Yeah, so there is missing a lot of contrast. Yeah, but I love the way those pages look together. It's really colorful. Yeah, that's it in Imagimorphia. Next we do have Mythomorphia. It is my favorite book from Kerby's older series, so from the Morphia series. I did 6 pages in total in here. I finished this double page intro spread and I'm really proud of it. I've used Derwent Inktense and I think the Polychromos for shading, or I've used the Inktense for basing, and then I got over it for the Polychromos with yeah, and I'm really happy with the outcome of this page. Yeah, it is one of my favorite pages in here, and I've used just a little bit of glitter gel pen for the fairies, I think, and everything else is matte. Yeah. Next I've finished those 2. Yeah, let me think about it. I think I've used my Artezas in here for that troll. I finished it back in 21, in September 21. I don't know what I've used for the background here, but it feels like it's been a water medium, so maybe the Arteza aquarelle pencils, I don't know yet anymore. And the one thing that I was really happy about this coloring book is that Kerby wasn't doing all those doodles. No, there are some pages with those doodles left, but his style was the same, but yeah, those fiddly random things were less. I know there are some hidden objects in here, but I'm really glad that he doesn't do that anymore. I think, yeah, I think his illustration stuff, his way to illustrate pages changed quite a bit. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way the water looks. That was the point that I was really ancient about. I really love the way how I've shaded the stonework back then, and yeah, once again, I don't know why I don't use those pencils that much. There are way too many pencils in my collection now. I do think that I've used Neocolor 2 for the background from this little quirky guy, and I'm not sure which pencil brand I've used here. I finished that page in February 23, and I do believe, I don't know, I can't guess which kind of pencils I've used, but I'm really happy that I've tried to do some light effects, some reflections on that branch here. Yeah, really love seeing finished pages, double page spreads. Speaking of double page spreads, I've done this one in 2025. It's been my very first finished page back in 2025, and I've used lots of Derwent Inktense, I think, for the basing. That's something that I really love doing in Kerby's books. just because there are so many details. Yeah, I don't know which pencils I've used. I think this could have been the Artex. Yeah, and I love the way the kitsune came out. And there is some, I think, a little bit of Coliro for its eye. Next, we do have another finished double page spread, and I'm really happy about that. Another page that I've done shortly before my son came, and I did not have a big set of Neocolors too. So by accident, I wanted to look this page to look like flames, like there's something burning in the background, because this page reminds me a lot of the fraction of the orcs in the video game World of Warcraft, and I wanted him to look a little bit like the chief of that orcs, like Thrall, if you know him. And now I do see that I missed coloring something here, and now I can't unsee it. Oh no, what have I done here? Yeah, well, what I wanted to say is that the background looks like the German flag. Hopefully, I am more experienced by now doing Neocolor 2 backgrounds, and maybe I should tackle another page in here trying to achieve that fiery background again. Yeah. And on this page I've used, I think, my polychromos, and for the background I've used Inktense, but I'm not that happy with that background. Yeah, I tried to do a light effect around those fairies. I'm not that happy with this page, and I do see that my book is falling apart. Yay! I think there are other people that do have that same problem with this book too. Once again, I've marked a page, I've tagged a page already for another video idea that might come in February. Yeah. This page I've colored with Francesca from Franci's Coloring World, I think she her name on Instagram is, and I think I've used Luminance or Derwent Lightfast, or both in combination. I'm not sure anymore, but I do think that the violet on the snakes, that they are Lightfast. Yeah, and that shiny things, as always, those are my Coliro rainbow watercolors. Yeah, and I do think that's the last page that I can show you in Mythomorphia. Yeah, it's genau. Okay. Next we do have worlds within worlds. This one was a book where I did have lots of works in progress back then, lots of pages that I've started and lost interest, and there was hashtag, I think, in 2022 or 2023, hosted by Passionista Colorista, where you had to tackle all your works in progresses to reduce them. Yeah, I had a lot of WIPS back then, and I do still have. And I think about coloring or continuing those WIPs, but I don't know when. I think I have to be in the mood. So in this book, I do have 3 finished pages. Back then I only had WIPs in here, and only 1 WIP. And that WIP is the first page that I have to show you. Yeah. I wanted it to be a little bit of a limited color palette, I think. started the background with polychromos and all that other things that I've started too, I think. Yeah, maybe at some point I will try to come back to this page, because I really love the name pages by Kerby really, really much. Next we do have this snake, and I think I've did it with Inktense only. Yeah, you still have those hidden objects in here, showcasing which page comes next. So you have that little helmet in here. Yeah, and for some reasons I really like, oh no, I finished it in 2022. So I think that old was that hashtag by Passionista Colorista. Yeah, really love the outcome. I love the jungly feeling in here. And working with Inktense is really a pleasure in Kerby's books, and it still is. And I would love to do this page here too. So we do have finished pages in a row. Yeah, January 22, I finished this page. I've done the background with Neocolor 2s. For some reasons, I always say that I don't like working with yellows, but in Kerby's books, I tend to use them, that backgrounds. Yeah, that yellows. In here, we do have some glittery kind of stuff. I think the gold might be the Signo Uniball gel pens that I had back then, and some Folia gel pen, the Kuckucksuhr with the German city in here, and there is the lion hiding. I think I didn't color any of those hidden objects. Yeah. And last but not least, is it last but not least? Yes, it is. We do have the flamingo page. I did not write the date when I finished it. And I don't know where's the dinosaur. There it is. Yeah. Inktense. And I don't know what I did with that background. Might be new colors. No, that might be the bright blue from the Inktense set. Yeah. I think I would use more pencils to go over Kerby's lines. Yeah, but hopefully in 2026 I will be able to color a little bit more in Kerby Rosanes' books, because I am now part of a body coloring group on Instagram, and we tackle I do my very first page in another book that I'm going to speak about in a couple of minutes with that group. They started with a body in Mythic World. I think they did that devilly thingy. I don't know, the Oni? Is it the Oni? But I wasn't able to color this because I had to work on my page that I've done in here. So the only page that I've done in here, and I do have a WIP. Here I've tried using my Arteco watercolors on the name page. So it's been a testing out of medium. So in here I only colored one page. You might have seen it on my Instagram already. This is the Kraken. Yeah, I really like it, and I've used my Artex and some Arteco watercolor for the background. Yeah, at first the page got quite crinkly, but now it's all flat. I've used some Sakura Jelly Roll, the glaze one, on the Kraken's eye, and Artex colored pencils. No embellishments like yeah, maybe some white Posca here and there for those little bubbles in the water. Yeah, but nothing glittery or metallic embellishments. And I would like to tackle the Baba Yaga in 2026 too. Yeah. Next we do have, I think, the final page that I can show you in this series of my, no, not in this part of the series, and that's in Alien Worlds. I only finished one page in here. Yes, it looks like two, but it's only one. And that page my husband chose for me. Not only the page, but the pencils that I had to work on the page with. So it's been again the Arteza Expert colored pencils, and I do think that I used an Inktense base again, just because there are so many details, and I am not willed to color a whole Kerby page with all those details only with colored pencil. I'm not that crazy anymore. I don't have that much of time. I'm really happy with the color palette. And you see, once again, there is another yellow background. For some reason, Kerby's pages, I love experimenting with vibrant colors. And I think my coloring style is quite colorful, but in Kerby's books, it is even more experimental, I think. Yeah. The other two books by Kerby that I do have, I talked about in the video before my last one. I only bought them 2 weeks ago, I think. So Fragile World is uncolored by now, but the body coloring group for the Kerby Rosanes pages had chosen these bats for February. So yeah, I do have some ideas already in mind for the colors, but we'll talk about that page more once it is done. I'm really looking forward to this project. Yeah, this might be my only Kerby page that I will do in February, but yeah, we like that. Oops. The last book that I do have is Dark Fairy Tales, and I don't have any colored pages in here. I didn't know if I would buy this book or not, but I do have kind of full set syndrome. Yeah, and so I want to give it a try. Once I've started my page in Mythic Worlds, I decided to give those coloring books by Kerby a try and give him some love. Yeah. So I do have a page in mind to color in 2026, and I think I have marked it. Is it Snow White and Rose Red? I don't know where it is, but I thought I had marked it. Yeah, you know, all those beautiful pages already. A lot of people have colored in here too. It's the one book that I can't show to my son, who usually likes to show me a page that I have to color, but this book is too scary, way too scary. Yeah, and I really love Snow White and Rose Red. It's been one of my favorite fairy tales when I was little. Yeah, so that's it for today's video. thank you guys for watching this kind of content. If you do have any ideas for upcoming videos, please leave me a comment. And if you made it to the end of the video, maybe you can write or send me an emoji in the comments, maybe a castle. Yeah. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. See you in the next video. Have a colorful day. Bye bye.